Most of the Hasidic weddings in the shtetl took place in the open air on Friday evening before Shabbos came in, and under the stars. And part of the ceremony was not only breaking of the glass, but to placate evil that might happen under the home that they were building. Apart from the groom and the bride, sharing the wine, a benediction would be made, and they would pour out wine onto the floor in the shtetl, to placate any evil that existed in the ground below the house, if there were bad spirits or anything like that. So you were offering a peace offering to any evil around, to leave the couple to do their thing and to grow old generally together. You can't do that in a synagogue because it will stain the parquet flooring, and they won't allow you to do it. Fine. Many of our youngsters now like the idea of having a wedding under the stars, but they haven't gone as far as pouring out the wine, because to a certain extent kosher wine is highly sweet nowadays and very nice. Some people turn their nose up at it, but it would be a waste to pour it out on the floor. The most instantly recognizable symbol that is known as Jewish, but is not recognized by the Jewish religion because it is a talisman, is a kameo. Most people today will use the phrase a Magen David or a Chai, the Hay and the Yud, because they're the first two letters of God's name, but they're also the first two letters of Chai for life, symbol for life. It's a luck charm, it's a protection. It's an extension of the idea of a mezuzah to do the Jewish house. The origins of the mezuzah were perhaps like on the night that we left Egypt, the markings on the lintels of the door, or so that the Malchamovis, the angels of death, coming down would see the difference between the Jewish houses and the non-Jewish houses. When we were tribes in the desert, if you go to North Africa today and to certain of the tribes in the deserts of the Middle East, they too have blood marks on the lintels of the tents, so that any other tribe coming past can look and they know whether or not this is family or friends, or an element of the tribe that they shouldn't touch because there might be arguments and so on and so on. It is a tribal design for recognition. It is the origins, if you like, also of the bloodstruth that we spoke about, because it's a blood mark. But we left Egypt with this particular thing on our doors as a recognition. What has happened over the years is that as our rabbinate grew, we began to realize, and priesthood grew, the blood on the door was not the most stirring thing. We needed something that was specifically ours and marked us. So we constructed under God's name the mezuzah on the door, and the mezuzah had God's name in the front of it and contained what we would call the creed of Judaism. The first paragraph of the Shema, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. It is the essence of the philosophy behind Judaism, and therefore it's put on the doorpost so that travellers marking by and walking past the house will know if they want to come and they have a problem, knock on the door, because they'll have a decent answer. They'll have somebody there who understands their problems and may be able to help. The same as the tribal mark, it is a mark of differentiation to show where people can go. Later things that came were the idea that you should put Hanukkah lights in the window, so that people could see the Jewish houses and see them. That was something that just evolved socially. It doesn't really mean anything bar the fact that it's a show of light from a Jewish house for passers-by again. But the mezuzah is there and developed into a protection, because what you find nowadays where the mezuzah is concerned is not only do people have it on their front door or the doors inside the house, there are many Jewish motorists today who have them in the car because they see the car as an extension. And there is there are stories of several Hasidic rabbis in the 1700s, in the 1800s, who actually carried a mezuzah around with them as a talisman. They will turn around and say, no, this is the Shema, it's a means of protection. But where it comes to being carried around and taken over and above the field in which it's actually meant for, and then it's a talisman, and it's a means of protection, assuming that, if you like, that evil is around, and this thing will protect you.